Motivation doesn't last. Or as Zig Ziglar wisely said, my favorite quote of his, motivation doesn't last, neither do showers. That's why we recommend that you take one every single day. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And I read an article by a gentleman named Omar Itani who, first of all, I wanted to see if his steps for motivating were the same as mine. They were. And secondly, I wanted to see how he presented it, and he presented it in kind of a neat way that I love. My mentor, Bob Anderson, would always put initials next to things so you would remember them. As an example, SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, Significant Other Person, Single One Purpose. Okay, I mean, we would put letters together and have them mean multiple things, and that way they were easier to remember. Well, Mr. Itani has a little formula, and he uses what he calls the ATM model. Now, when you think of ATM, what do you think of? Going to the bank machine, getting money. I think that's very, very clever. So I'm going to use his model, not necessarily his logic, but I'm going to use his model. So let's talk a little bit about motivation. Because, you know, it's hard to stay motivated all the time. Sometimes your energy level is low and you're not in the mood to take action. And then there's other times things don't go your way, you feel like you're in a slump. Whatever the case is, there's got to be a way to snap out of it and get you back on track. And that's what our purpose is today. So, the first thing that we want to do, and I'm going to compare this individually as well as on a team level with the company that I worked with and how we overcame these particular issues that if you're in sales, if you're trying to be an influencer, these are things that come up all the time, so you have to be prepared as the manager to manage these emotions, these scenarios, so that your people will be more productive and you as an office will be more productive. Step one, the A, align with your what and your why. First thing, all right, once again, we talk about on a daily basis, give yourself some quiet thinking time. Be clear on what matters to you and be clear on what your burning desire is, what objective you want to accomplish. Visualize it, see it happening. Align yourself with the what and the why, and then not only, but what it's going to do for you. All right, too many people say, well, I want to make a lot of money. Great. What is the money going to do for you? What are you able to do with the money? Does that make sense? So that's where your focus has got to be. It's got to be on seeing yourself accomplishing the goal, understanding the why and because, and aligning yourself with that particular objective. Does that make sense? You've got to have clarity on what it is you want to achieve, whether it's a small task, a big project, or if you're talking about life in general. I mean, these are things that you have to do on a daily basis. So get yourself settled and aligned so that you can have a clear focus. Simon Sinek, one of my favorites, tells us, if we want to feel an undying passion for our work, if we want to feel we are contributing to something bigger than ourselves, we all need to know our why, what I like to refer to as the Y chromosome. Now, with my people, when we were in the insurance business, we had a certain objective that we had to achieve premium every single week. And if we didn't achieve it by the weekend, then we worked on Saturday. And if we didn't have it by Saturday, we worked on Sunday. So you might be thinking to yourself, how are you getting people that you're paying on commission? Okay, this was not a salary, this was commission only, the wonderful world of commission only. How are you getting people to put in all of those extra hours? Very simple. We would have a focus meeting before we went out and hit the field. What did we do in that focus meeting? We got the people in the meeting to give us their why, their reasons, and creatively you come up with different ways of doing that. That was what made somebody a good manager or not a good manager, is your ability to get people up and running, to get them out in the field, to get them producing, to get the results. When you're on commission only, the only thing that counts is your results. So we get them focused. And there were a number of ways to focus. We focus on, we're the team, we're in this position, and we want to maintain that position, or you want to become a manager, you need this amount of production in order to achieve that, or, you're not, if you want to be a 5%er and not a 95%er, you have to think like a 5%er. And what does a 5%er do? A 5%er focuses on results. So we're going to focus on the result. All of these different aspects would go into the talk, and then we would have the people make a commitment. I commit that I'm going to have this number of sits. That was like presentations. I'm going to have 3 sits and 2 sales, or I'm going to have, 2 sits and 2 sales, or whatever it was. And they would stand in front of the mirror, make a commitment. I can, I will, I must, and tomorrow I will say I did. And we would have them make a commitment. So it was the get into their emotions, get them physically in front of the mirror, get them talking to themselves. You can see that in the wonderful world of commission only, motivation is tremendously important. Okay, so that's the A, align the why. Number 2, track your progress and your impact. That's the T of ATM. Always make sure that you have a scoreboard. The United Fund has like a big torch, and they color the torch in as people contribute so people can see how quickly it's going. Always have a scoreboard. Always keep track of your results. All right, when people are losing weight, I lost a pound today, or I lost 8 ounces today. These things keep you motivated. Create your own scoreboard. Of course, in the insurance business, we had our scoreboard for how much actual premium we had, how much we had to get, and then if we needed, let's say, $2,400 of annualized premium, and we had 4 people going out, I would say, all right, we each need to do $600 of annualized premium. That's a $50 a month commitment from a client. Can you go out there and get one client to commit for $50? Can you get one client to commit 50? So we put the people together, we get them to say, yes I can, yes I can, yes I can. And as part of the team, it's important that if he gets his 50, that you get your 50, or we're not going to reach our objective as a team. And we would frequently have celebrations. Once we reached that, I would buy them this, or I would give a bonus or something. You follow what I'm saying? So you go at it from a number of different angles, but the key thing is make sure that you're tracking your results, that you're keeping score. Because if you don't keep score, you don't know where you are. And people have a competitive nature. They want to win the game. People are competitive. At least in the wonderful world of commission only, they're competitive. They better be. All right, does that make sense? So make sure that you keep track of what it is that's important. Third part, manage your mood. Now, from the time that I would hold the focus meeting till the time they hit the field, they're out in their car. And guess what happens when you're going from the office to going out in the field to go knock on doors, okay? Isn't that an exciting process? Oh boy, I get to go and knock on doors from people I don't even know, try to get into their house, get them to take out their checkbook, and get them to write me a check for $50. Does that excite you? Well, that was what we had to overcome, and we didn't look at it as overcoming. We looked at it as keeping people focused. So the M from ATM, you got a line, you got track, and the M is to manage your mood. Now, sometimes you're in a bad mood, and there isn't an ocean in the world that can fill you with the motivation that you're going to need to take action. So if you find yourself stuck in a negative thought pattern and emotional state, move! Physically move. The action precedes the feeling. So how did we do that in the insurance game? Well, people are going out knocking on doors. So the first door was always the most difficult. Trust me, I was out in the field. The first door is the most difficult. So you force yourself out of the car and you walk up to the first door and you have an action. And this was the action. How dumb is this? And how brilliant was this? Here's the action. You walk up to the door and That's the way you knock on the door. So you move, you get out of the car, you have something to do, and you take an action. You knock on the door. And then when the person on the other side opens his door, it's showtime! Hey, here I am, I'm Eli's dad, and I'm ready to put on a show for you. Of course, you don't do it like that, but the point is, you're ready with your presentation that you've drilled, practiced, rehearsed. You're ready for them, you're ready for the audience, you're ready to make it happen. But remember, and this is a key point, the action precedes the feeling. The action precedes the feeling. It's the law of inertia. Once you get your body in motion, your body will stay in motion. And you will get out of that mental funk and you will start to move, and that movement will get you in the right space mentally where you go on and on and on and on and on. But you got to have some sort of an action, some sort of something physical that takes you from, oh, all right, I got to go knock on my first door, to, hi, I'm Eli's dad. You got to take yourself from that position and make sure that you get your body in motion. One of the things that I like to do when I'm speaking in front of a group of people, and they don't like it when they get started, there's all sorts of grumbling, all right, but after they do it, everybody is pumped up. I get people to do a little physical thing that I call the Duke of York, that I learned from one of my teachers, that when you have a group of people, you get people to move, you get them up and down, you get them moving, all right? It's not something you have to be, you know, Michael Jordan, you have to be an athlete to do. Anybody can do it. It gets the blood pumping. And then when they're done and we get the blood pumping, it's like, all right, are you ready to start this meeting? Are you ready to learn? Take out your pens, take out your paper, or turn on your tape recorder, or both, and let's go. And then I have everybody right here, right where I want them, because I've made them do something physical, and they're now in alignment with me. All right, so once again, big shout out to Omar Atani, gave me these great ideas, and I loved his presentation in terms of ATM, a money machine, align, track, manage your mood. Great stuff today. And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's get out there and take charge! I'm Eli's dad.